welcome to the continuing adventures of Lenny. In this video, I'm going to discuss a film that I've never seen before. It was my first time viewing. I'm going to discuss it and share it with you. It is the 1989 film Roadhouse. And I gotta say it like that. I don't know why, just how I feel like saying it. Roadhouse. Patrick Swayze plays this character named James Dalton, and James Dalton is this badass, legendary, bigger than life, kind of like a folk hero like Paul Bunyan type of character, where in the world of bar bouncers or enforcers or security guards, whatever you want to call them, he reigns supreme. He comes highly recommended. There's only one who's better than him, and it's the gentleman that actually taught him how to do what he does. There's this sloppy slop of a drunk guy that's soliciting other sloppy drunks to kiss his own wife's breast for $20. No, and this was before Groupon, so you don't even need a coupon. It's crazy. It's Roadhouse. What happens is this bar owner comes and seeks the help of Mr. James Dalton, Patrick Swayze, get his bar up and running. It's a bar that has a lot of issues and troubles and ruffians and whatnots and woohoos and cowboy fights, but he wants it to become a more respectful place where more people will come and not be so scared because of the thugs that run it. And the name of this place is the Double Deuce. The Double Deuce. The name of this bar sounds like what Bart Simpson would name a place if he owned a bar or a restaurant. He would call it the Double Deuce. I gotta rock a deuce. Gotta drop a deuce. Patrick Swayze's character has this philosophy, this mantra of, I want you to be nice until it's time not to be nice. Makes sense. Good philosophy. Seriously, that's good philosophy. To sum up a lot of what happens in this film, we got karate taking place in some tight-ass jeans and cowboy boots. We got nudity. We got fights galore, like lots of fights. We got guns and knives. It's out of hand. It's amazing. One of the things I noticed right away in this film is both the guys and the girls, there's a lot of big hair going on, a lot of big hair. And Patrick Swayze, he is rocking a mullet. It is a thing of beauty. There's a random hodgepodge of things that are taking place in this film. And to show you how random it is, there's a goddamn Bigfoot 4x4 in this film that gets to run over cars at a car dealership, running over cars and car dealerships, smashing shit. I kid you not. When is the last time that you saw a Bigfoot, like the Bigfoot, the legendary Bigfoot 4x4, just demolish and run over shit? It's in this film. It's crazy. And it makes sense. You see it and you don't think, what's happening? Actually, you do. You do think what's happening, and then you're like, Roadhouse. Makes sense. There's a hilarious sex scene that takes place between Dalton and Elizabeth Clay, and this scene reminds me of like an outtake that they couldn't use for Dirty Dancing because it was too risque. But this love scene's hilarious because there's a lot of swaying going on, a lot of movement, a lot of swaying. I'm sure a lot of people love this scene. A lot of ladies, a lot of gentlemen. I'm not judging. But it is hilarious as hell. It's like dancing, lovemaking. Lovemaking's like dancing. They're swaying. But swaying in ways that it's like, are you making love or are you having a seizure? Either way, the legendary Keith David is in this film. If you've ever seen They Live and The Thing, you know Keith David. And he just pops up in the film like that. One moment he's not there, the next moment he's a bartender at the Double Deuce. No introduction, no big introduction scene. Keith David working the bar. Why announce it? He's there. It's Roadhouse. There's two big bads in this film. You got Jimmy and you got Brad Wesley. Brad Wesley's in charge, and his second in command would be Jimmy. But Brad Wesley doesn't have the lines of coolness that Jimmy has. There's a scene that's going to take place where Dalton's going to square off against Jimmy. They've been waiting to fight. You know, Jimmy's been sizing him up. Let's see what he got. Before the fight, Jimmy makes a declaration to the crowd and to Dalton. I used to fuck guys like you in prison. All right. Roadhouse. One of the coolest things that I've seen in a film, Patrick Swayze rips a guy's throat out with his bare hands, like he's reaching into a pond and snatching out a fish. Just straight up does it. Roadhouse. This movie has Sam Elliott in it. The legendary Sam Elliott. This movie had Sam Elliott in it. The legendary Sam Elliott. The climax of this film dramatically shifts from the rest of the movie, where out of nowhere the vibe changes and it becomes like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Commando, where Dalton is storming this mansion compound where Brad Wesley lives, the bad guy, the villain of the story, and his thugs. And it becomes a completely different film. It's now a shootout film. It's a survival film, one man taking on many, and it feels like something that Arnold Schwarzenegger or Stallone would do. Big shootout scene that takes place at Brad Wesley's compound at the tail end of this film. And there's a lot going on here, but there's this Uncle Rico looking guy that has a shotgun. And instead of shooting the shotgun in a normal fashion or a normal way, he's almost like dry humping it as he shoots. Like he's convolting and pumping the air, dry humping the air as he shoots this shotgun. Looks like Uncle Rico. Very unique shooting style. Doesn't hit Dalton, so I can't say it's effective, but who am I to judge? There's also another guy in Brad Wesley's group who's this big, tough, hefty guy. Big, hefty guy, really tough, who wears these little white cowboy boots that look like they should be for a child, because they got like the little, like, looks like they should have the tassels, little stringy, leathery tassels to them. I kid you not, one of Brad Wesley's bad guys gets knocked out by a stuffed polar bear. I kid you not, it happens in this film. I am not making that up, because it's Roadhouse. There's a Karate Kid Part 2 moment that takes place in the film at the end. Dalton, Brad Wesley have fought. For some reason, Brad Wesley's able to hold his own in this fight against Patrick Swayze. Don't really know how or why. Unrealistically, this guy's like 80 compared to Swayze, who's doing all these different forms of martial arts and looking good. It's the movie. I understand we need to build drama and, you know, suspend belief, but this guy would have dropped dead of a heart attack fighting him in a minute. But anyway, we finally get to this moment, and Dalton, who's already ripped the dude's throat out, is about to do it again. And we have the live or die moment from Karate Kid Part 2, where he's gonna decide, am I gonna do it? Am I gonna rip this guy's throat out? I can end him right here. And he chooses not to. There is so much hairspray and cigarette smoking going on in this film that I am honestly surprised that no one accidentally set somebody on fire while filming it. Also, at the end of this film, I felt like I smoked a pack of cigarettes, a whole pack of cigarettes, and I don't even smoke. Honestly, Roadhouse screams late 80s, early 90s, but I mean that in a good way. This film is off the rails. I'm not going to deny that. This film is all over the place. I don't know what demographic was being aimed for, but they threw everything into that pot. Let it simmer, let it marinate, because it works. The film is cuckoo, it's nuts, it doesn't make sense. But it does make sense because it's Roadhouse. And once you live that Roadhouse life, there's no going back. Like, I have to watch this again. I have to. There's so much going on in it, so much absurdity going on in it, that the absurdity makes sense. And to not enjoy it, there's no way you can watch Roadhouse and not enjoy it. But that's the experience that I had my first time viewing Roadhouse. Those are the things that I noticed. I would love to know what you think of the 1989 original Roadhouse. What was your viewing experience like? What did you come away with? What are your favorite lines? As always, I want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for your time. Thank you for allowing me to speak about these things that I love. I greatly appreciate that. Be safe, be careful, and I'll talk to you soon.